Mr. Walnut Fredericks, my mentor, you said that, or you insinuated that you must be clued up with what is happening around you.
Yes, sir.
In the time of the apartheid, you wrote the song, Freedom is a Dream No More. I mean, you're a gospel writer.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with that song in the apartheid era? Because you were clued up, and if I read your Facebook statuses, I can see you clued up with what is happening. Is that essential for a songwriter to be clued up with what is happening before you go to the song?
Most definitely. I think again, maybe not just for me, but if you talk perspective,
yes.
if you are that way inclined, like you said, to write it, and to respond, and to opine on things, over things, then you must know what's happening around you. You must know, you must read.
Yes.
You must read, you must listen to when people talk.
Yes.
And at times sit down with a pen and write down thoughts that other people might express that you necessarily might not have been thinking about, but which are interesting thoughts nonetheless. So, and then the song Freedom is a Dream No More. Remember, I was a student also. I was a student, so I always had that consciousness. And I'm even to this day, I'm still aware of what's happening around us. I make it a point to be aware of what's happening around me, and maybe find the reason or cause why it's happening and what kind of responses one should have to those issues, if you may. Now the church was very instrumental in fighting for freedom in South Africa. The church was very instrumental. Die kerk ons het voorgemaakt. Ek was in so 'n kerk geweest waar hulle wat aangegaan het. So I've always had that consciousness. And then 1994 came, 24th of April, and everybody went to vote. And then now we're all free. And now nobody's listening to the church because now the church is not giving no direction anymore. Check it vandaag ook. Die kerk geen direction, die kerk follow me. Maar in 1994 die kerk gelead. Because Dr. Alan Boezak had de toga gedragen. Dr. Lionel had de toga gedragen. Dr. Willem Sensio had de toga gedragen. Die islamische iemand met een lang klop aan de haar, een salaatop en alles. Die kerk was voor, die kerk had gelead. En toen kom in Freedom, toen gaan foto's, toen maak die mensen van wie die kerk bakleden, toen maken hulle die kerk systeem stop. To this day, for the religion, what is recognized? Was a Christian country 70% say that was a Christian. Maar gaan kijken in het parlement wie rule. Zeven mij wat Christians rule. Zeven mij wat Christian philosophy is. That's a philosophy of prayer. That's a philosophy of religion. But there's no Christian philosophy. So now comes after the election. And then I just felt, look at the church needs to have a response to this. And that's why I'm saying to the church people, freedom is a dream no more. We finally break away from the shackles of oppression. Freedom is a dream no more. Let's celebrate this God-given day. That's what that comes from. Obviously the verses and the bridge enforces that. In the bridge, I talk about the words of Martin Luther King. Echoes in my mind. I have a dream, I have a dream. I know that it's just an echo now because the dream is now over. Ik heb nou wakker geschrikt. Ik is nou in a state of reality and that's where freedom is a dream no more.
Nou, ek wil byvoeg, sy kan nie die woorde skryf as sy nie weet wat Martin Luther King gesê het. En sy kan nie weet wat Martin Luther King gesê het as sy nie lees het.
Exactly.
And understand what is happening around you. So the depth of your songwriting lies in your reading.
Absolutely.
And what you know.
And how you respect other people. Die hele ladies wat gospel worship songs skryf nou. Voor COVID. As jou pastor 'n goeie woord preek en sy kry 'n song met 'n woord, ek gaan net 'n song kry as hy gaan luister na wat hy sê. Nie wat julle doen nie. Julle sing mos julle song klaar, dan staan julle agter, dan wag julle weer vir die altar call om weer 'n song te sing. Maar jy hoor niks wat gepreek word nie. Jy moet stil sit om te hoor wat preek word, you must sit still and you must pay attention, because the word, as much as it is for everybody, it is for the man of God speaking. Hy hoor mos eers. Hy kan ook nie vir hom kom staan op hy moet hoor en dan hoor alle ander mense. So if you read, you must read, especially if you say I'm a songwriter. And you have to write about things, then your reading will motivate you. And even as you sit down and pen things up, because relevant things that you read, they just pop up. I can't even explain hoe dit gebeur nie, maar sy weet mos wat jy song skryf, but pop dit in. I wrote another song that says, give us peace in our land. That's on the first
Father, give us peace in our land.
Now that was also a political response, but that was written in the heart of it. We were fighting. They killed those kids there in a city called Boipatong. And then, and I was like, oh, those songs of peace, they fell there. Blood cries of war still feel, you know, still pierce my ear. They ring in the air. That's what happened. That is Here, give us freedom, you know. So you were playing it right within the thing, and a song like Freedom, on the other hand, is when you are out of it. But dan is daar nog een van die mensen die gewoon ik heb toets mij. Zij komen niet gewoon. Niemand komt gewoon. Ik was op net gereisd. Ik speel hem zo nou en dan gereisd. Currently, freedom is a dream no more. Serious. Toen vond ik het, nah, it was a joke. Freedom is still a dream. Was het nog altijd vast? Als breinmensen. Als breinmensen is nog altijd vast.
Freedom is a nightmare now.
Ja, ze is nog altijd vast. Hulle gee nie vir ons wat ons hulle is. Hulle hoef ons weg. Ons kry jou helemaal niks. Moet ek gaan, ek kan een klomp stories praat. Nou moet ek gesê, sinds je Bob Marley is song, get up, stand up, stand up for your right. Ek het die chorus gevat, maar die verse sê, although they say we are free, it's really not easy to see. Because what we live from day to day, so far removed from liberty. And those of us who see the light, stand up for our right. Get up, stand up for your right. You see? And again, it's those for me are moments of consciousness. You perceive, you reflect, and then it just comes to you to say something along those lines. Because as you die, then you can actually cover a whole range of forums. I don't have to just be in church to do gospel. I can be on the parade and do gospel, and then be relevant to someone standing out there. Because this must also learn. Ons moet praat met dinge wat verkeerd gaan. So that's why by jou stewig in die beer sê.
That's deep. And that's the thing about songs. Songs can empower a nation.
For certain.
It can unify people, or it can bring division, it can do all sorts of things. And what you've described, that synergy from gospel and what's happening in apartheid. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they was perfect for it. Because then we also sang freedom songs in concert halls, in churches. I remember I was at the church here in East Streets where they sang the morning part of the verse of freedom is a dream no more. You understand what I'm saying? Because there is synergy gebring van die kerk, but there was this sound. It's not I won't say it's a foreign sound, but it was a different sound coming from onze breinmense.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think also when you write, when you are situation conscious and you write about that, you must always not forget that you are God conscious first. That within that thing that you're talking about, you have to bring in God. That God is, if it's a problem you're talking about, then God is the solution.
He's the solution.
Like what is uppermost in our minds these days? As an issue that needs to be addressed is gender-based violence. I haven't heard songs on gender-based violence, but if you happen to get a song on gender-based violence, it has to address, it has to make mention that as jy nie die Here gaan ken nie, dan gaan ons al die tyd gender-based violence hê. You know, as jy nie vir God gaan nader nie, dan kyk maar net by sê 20 van die ouens wat skuldig is en hy goed is. Exactly 21 van hulle ken nie die Here nie. In 20 het ken 21 om nie. So when you write something about gender-based violence, you know, at the end of the day you have to bring in that God, is missing in the situation.
Wow.
That's the kind of thing.
Ander ding wat ek voor weer na die questions toe gaan. Die ander ding wat ek wat nou illuminate in my mind. Don't you think it's probably because we have been copying one another? Hier kom 'n laaitjie die Beatles play. Hy skryf hy haal my in die modder uit, hy's my rots. Next song is as hy by die Here bly as hy poenantjies. Now you want to copy that thing. Now God can't speak to you in relation to gender-based violence.
Yeah.
You understand? Because now the monotony creeps in. En nou raak ons monotonous because ons almal skryf oor dieselfde ding. You understand what I'm saying? And now songwriters also, hulle word ingesak in die hele trend wat aangaan.
Yeah.
While there's other issues we can write about.
Absolutely. You see, I think a lot of authenticity gets lost because you don't give space and time for that to be first explored by not being original.
Yes.
And the reader comes in your original world, you see, as beter om te copy, want dan gaan sy gaan 'n handklap kry as jy gaan copy. As die original is jy seker, gaan ek 'n handklap kry. Gaan ek 'n invitation kry, maar as 'n copy dan gaan ek genooi word en ek gaan dan hulle word genooi maak. En ek gaan 'n lekker Facebook page hê, ek gaan op Twitter gaan, ek gaan famous is en almal goed is. So the ego, which all the musos have, plays a big role in there. En moenie vir my sê jy het 'n ego nie. Moenie vir my kom ons sê jy het 'n ego. It is your responsibility to suppress that ego and to make sure that God shines in the process. That at least you can do. Crazy die regie? At least it's a try what to do. You see. So I think that's maybe my response to that particular question.
Wow.
Zonder taal of tijden is jij weg, die vleer van jouw leven. Ik wonder, wat doen jij nou? Kon jij dan niet langer wachten, voor jij moest verhuizen? Nee, ik wonder, wat doen jij nou? Is dit daar ook zoals hier bij ons? Waai die winden soms, is daar reen, skyn die zon. Is dit daar ook zoals hier bij ons? Waar jij is, waar jij is. Zonder taal of tijden is jij weg.
Let me get on a sensitive topic now. In 2017, June was a very difficult time for you.
Still difficult.
And your family. As a fellow musician, I thought we were gonna lose Walmart Fredericks as well because of the magnitude of that time and moment. In that moment, you still wrote a song. Waar jy is, ek het het nou nie gekry van 'n CD af nie. Ek het maar iemand mag my steeds, dit is bureaus man. So weet saam met die bureaus, dan stuur die bureau by jou song, die great financing, where he given, and that to me was amazing. Because of the magnitude of the moment, the beauty of the song, you still kept everything together. Just to give us, I'm waiting for that song to be released. But you still give us that now. Talk us through that.
You know, the honest truth is that song, I actually wrote to my mother.
Wow.
My mom had passed on a good 20 years ago. And then I had written that song 7 years before.
Wow.
7 years before Walton got killed.
Wow.
In 2010, I wrote that song. Or that song came to me. I was just sitting in the living room, some rhythms.
Yes.
I was playing and then I was in key D te gespeel.
Yes.
En D.
Okay.
Het kruis so lekker.
So the steel guitar?
Ja, zeker. Zonder taal of tijd is hier weg. En die vleer van mijn leven. Het wonder.
Ja.
Maar ik kon niet alleen laten wachten. Voor ik was verhuisd.
Yes.
Ik wonder wat doen we nog. Maar vraag, is de daar nog zo? Als hier bij ons. Waar die winden soms is hier schijn die zon. Ze kunnen in de straten spelen. Als er redelijk engelen daar is. Straten redelijk van goud. Zie mij als de daar ook zo. So I wrote that song, or that song came to me because I was in the space where I just longed for my mom.
Yes.
And then I took the guitar and I played with nothing in my mind, in my head. I was just in that space, I was in that mood, and that's what came forth.
Yes.
Lo and behold, when 2017 came down, then my wife said to me, "I think it's a song geschreven for Walter to hear."
Yes.
Because he was truly in the prime of his life. Hij was redelijk lang. En als ik jou moet vertellen hoe het gebeurde, gaat ik nog heel. Ik zit voor Vadersdag in de Bijbel in de hand, op de rand van die kooi. Prepare mij voor Vadersdag service. Ik ga praten. En dan met die woord in de hand, dan hoor ik een sarsieschoot aan van zo hard. Klip hard kan schoten worden. En die eerste woorden wat ik zei ook uitgaan, toen zei ik van mijn schoonma, mama, Walter is raak geschiet. Ik heb voor God tegen wit. Hij is daar. Ik heb tegen wit bij zien. Ik heb tegen wit. Ik heb hem niet aangezien door mijn zien. Maar dat is de eerste woorden wat ik zei. En toen ik afgaan, zie ik kom bij en kom aangaan op. Dus ik daar. Nou, is die song zo relevant. Want ik vraag om leven. En dan was er gezien die straat is van ik had er niet daar niet. Zoals dat misschien a wave comes in met mij communicate. Dat fit, you know. So, be that as it may, you know, at the end, for me, God gets the glory out of it. No. En dan vind ik het zo bij vele andere farewell services, homegoing services, singing me a tricky song, because it bears relevance to what people are going through. It's not easy. Ik misschien zeggen, want wat schrijf ik moet watch wat je schreef, wat je schreef kan je convict achterna. You know.
Wow.
So that's iemand sorry dat ik nog tranen stond.
No. Ik zelf een en mee kies.
That's what it's about. You must be aware always of what you say, how you say it, because those very things that you say can come back and haunt you. You know. To vragen voor mij, maar wat dan nog van je geloof? Vraag zuster mij, pertinent. Wat je faith? To say, Father, you know, Jenny, that's the only thing that I have. That's the only thing that has kept me. If I never had my faith, I didn't say if I never had God. I said if I never had my faith, if I never had my belief in God, I wouldn't. I mean, dan was ik weer gezeten, vroeger, dan was ik totally because you sit with that. Kan ik wel zeggen, so, ik heb voor een jaar, een solid jaar, en zeker nog een maand en een badrij, kon ik in mijn hand in de Bijbel zitten. Ik kon eenvoudig, ik heb getraaid, ik heb opgemaakt, maar ik kan niet, ik zie niet niks. En dat is toch nog een solid jaar.
Wow.
But I'm glad I'm back now too. You know,
Yeah.
so God is communicating with me. He's giving me new songs.
Yes.
Ik ben nog veel die DVD spelen.
Ja.
In feite ga je zo geen die spelen die helemaal krijgen.
Yes. Thanks, man.
Ze hebben het op je computer zit. Actually, dat is baie mooie songs dat ik weer gecreëerd heb.
Ja, ik zoek net hij.
Maar dat dieren wat we praten voor hem gaat ik record. Zeker maar in de volgende 2 weken.
People, especially in this time, that's a song for
us. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, Mr. Woman.
Maar mensen, het is ook wel niet relevant, you know.
Ja.
Maar ik heb nog andere songs.
Ja. No, you are right. Dat is de andere wat ik wil zeggen. First conclude met alles. Zij schreef maar op dieren.
Ik heb voor het tijd lang, dat is wat ik denk wat we writersblok.
Ja.
Waar daar niks gebeurt.
Er komt niks.
Daar is dit die song wat kom ik.
Ja.
Dat is het kom.
Ja.
Nou, toen ik nog jonger was, dan heb ik gewaardeerd geraakt.
Ja.
Maar nu dat ik veel ouder is, zeker zo 15 jaar terug, 15 jaar of 17 jaar terug, dan vind ik elke examen wanneer ik kan schrijven, dan schreef ik in elke sessie een song.
Wauw.
Elke sessie schreef ik een song.
Ja.
Dus ik niet gewoon, ik wacht even examen, te schrijven een song. Als ik een song kreeg in January, dan waar ik is, maar met examentijd, dan ik een song kreeg. Eigenlijk als ik in die klas kom, maar wat ik moet toezicht of tussen die. And again, it's important what you feed yourself.
Yeah.
So can yourself a clump negativity feed and then expect positivity to produce. It doesn't work like that. Even when you go and sleep, as you clump negativity in your head, dan zit er ook clump negative in je droom ook. Your thoughts in your dreams will be negative. But if you just make, say moeite maken. Je wil net mooi worden. Mooi goed gelezen. Je gaan slapen. Dan schrik je wakker. Ik heb gisterochtend met een song wakker geschreven. De vrouw gaat staan, ik het op vroeg. Ga ik buitenkant toe, wil niemand stelen. Schrijf ik het in neer. We staan met vrouw op, ze zegt, wat is dit nou weer? Ze is song gekregen. Ik wil eens zien wat ik gekregen heb. But it's beautiful when you feed yourself. Even in terms of the right conversation, songwriters is important. You have to, apart from reading things and being very academic about things, you know, you have to always also feed yourself positive things. You must do that. You must do that. And the ene wat je die moet vergeten is, music is spirit to spirit communication.
Wow.
Het zijn misschien niet de kwaaiste stemmen in de wereld, maar die mensen lijken veel die meeste. Because dit is de mooiste geest in de wereld. En er zijn mensen geest wat respond tot de geest wat jij communiceert. That's what music is. Zij kan maar 15.000 phrases doen. Zij kan maar hier gaan. Het is zo baie breed, dat klinkt zo mensen man met gebadje. Het is niks te vriend. Zij zeggen van niemand, dus niemand verstaan wat die zeggen. But
that's seven devils.
Just communicate. And I'm not saying you must just be plain and simple. I'm saying just be effective in what you do. You know, you have to just exert yourself a little bit. You know, and know your own limitations. Because at the end of the day, if you have an audience of one, and that audience is God. Even when it sounds like it is, I'll give you my best place.
Wow.
In the secret place.
Wow.
Voor mij, ik kom in de rehearsalkamer. Monday, met samen met Dr. Tumi speel bassplayer. Ik ken hij rehears en Byron is samen. Ik is klaar gerehears bij Paar Stevens een keer. Ik is klaar gerehears die donderdag voor die zondag ze optreden. Ik zie van de ons. Weet je nou wat? Als ik nou kan huis toe gaan in die hoef zondag op te treden, dan is ik bij je blij. Because ons het gerehears, daar was niemand. Als dit ons het gerehears. So God is the audience, daar is ik happy and satisfied. Ik wil niet zondag komen en spoil die moment wat ik met die Heere gehad heb. Because zondag, die moment dat ik bestaan, dat die moment gespoild kan worden. Because ik was al lang al voorbij aan de klap zoek. Ik zoek hier aan de klap. And again, I'm not saying you must be super holy. I'm just saying, you know, just take care when you do these things. If you call yourself a gospel writer, you know what? You cannot write a song that has no biblical reference.
Amen.
Jy kan nie, hy doen nie. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. Jy kan nie
Yes.
soms nie. Jy moet die Bybel lees. Jy moet die Here vra net te help.
Yes.
You know, it's it was here simple as that, maar ek het simple.
Yeah.
Because jy met jou ego moet jy suppress. As jy baie movies kyk, dan gaan jy skryf van die goed wat hulle sê in die movies.
Yeah.
Jy gaan hy themes gaan jy skryf.
Yes.
So don't feed yourself that, you know.
Wow.
Kyk rondom jou.
Yes.
Lees, vra.
Yeah.
As unknowns wat songs skryf, telefoon op.
Yeah.
And live at peace with all men.
Yes.
Because if you have peace inside, you can
Yeah.
only communicate peace.
Amen.
And as a writer, I said earlier, you become the consciousness of the
Yes.
nation. You become
Yes.
the voice of the people.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's your responsibility to
Yes.
always make effort to
Yes.
be in the right space
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
In moenie side load op sit.
Yes. Wow.
Moenie side load op sit.
Wow.
Laat die Here jou motief is. Jy is mos 'n brein man.
Yeah.
Jy is mos 'n brein.
Yes.
Jy moet mos aan werk.
Yeah.
Jy moet mos aan werk.
Yes.
As dan die serie van Gerrit jou werk,
Ja.
dan doen hom net 'n lees reg en op reg.
Ja, en meer as 8 ure oor die dag.
Moenie side load te weet.
Yes. True.
En as te veel van julle, ons ek verstaan julle is jonk, julle gees is wild en alle goed is, maar te veel van julle te side load te hou op asseblief.
Yes.
Amen.
In die Here weg.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, what's a favorite word is?
I will bless the Lord at all times,
His praise
and His praise
shall
be in my mouth.
continually be in my mouth.
Halleluja. Ons julle gaan dit hoe
Ja,
opdra.
Yes. Ek het nou die dag iemand bemoedig met die woorde. So thank you, Master Writer Wilmot Fredericks, for this valuable input. This is going to last for generations.
My
We're
pleasure.
going to make sure it's going to last for generations because we just had a master class from one of our top writers. It was not the best, it's one of the top 3 writers.
Yeah, and the thing is, we never even went into the technicalities of writing. We can
Yes.
always,
Yeah.
at a different stage, talk about that.
Yes.
The academics of writing.
Yeah, but you've given us the spirit of a writer.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
the rest can follow. So, dankie mense dat julle ingetune het. Thank you, Master.
My plezier,
Kan jy
man.
my mentor?
My
Yes,
plezier.
sir.
Is it so, Kevin?
Yes.
My dear praat.
That's very dear.
I say.